I can't believe it. It's finally here. The thing I've been waiting for forever. Invincible War. Welcome back, everyone. I have been waiting for Invincible War since season 2. I've been talking about it. I have not shut up about it. I've been driving everyone in my life crazy because everywhere I look, I just keep thinking and talking about Invincible War. But the moment has finally come, and although, you know, I kind of stopped doing episode reviews for season 3, I had to come back and talk about this because it's just been my life for the last few years. Invincible War. I've been anticipating it, clearly. If you don't know me, hello, my name's Amanda. Some people call me Vamp, and I am here today to talk about the latest episode of Invincible season 3, episode 7. What have I done is the name of this episode. Yeah, what have I done indeed. That is actually a really good title. And it also brings me to a point that I really have wanted to talk about for this season. I guess, I don't know if I should give you guys a rundown of what happened in the episode. I mean, you've watched it. I'll just say spoiler warning in effect. Although, you know, if you started this video, I probably should have said that at the beginning because I just talked about Invincible War. But anyways, something that everybody's been talking about with this season, I've seen a lot of discourse around it, is Mark's attitude. People do not like Mark this season. They are saying that Mark is being whiny. He's being a little baby. They've been saying some other words that I will not repeat here. And although I understand the frustration with Mark's attitude in this season, I have been saying, you know, there are reasons that Mark feels this way. There are reasons that we are also going through it with Mark and having him analyze whether or not he is a good person and carry the burden of everything that's come before on his shoulders, and he's really feeling that weight. And that reason is Invincible War. I mean, dealing with the feelings of, are you really a good person or are you a bad guy in disguise in a costume as a hero, becomes really, really relevant when all of a sudden you have to fight a bunch of other versions of you from the multiverse who are villains. So it makes a lot of sense that that has been his trajectory this season, and I hope that with Invincible War, some people have finally understood why that was so important and so integral to his character development in season 3. I gotta say, I feel like season 3 is shaping up to be my favorite season. We'll talk about it more after episode 8. Episode 8 is going to be a banger, by the way, so if you've been sleeping this whole time on season 3 and just been watching what's going on, you need to catch up and you need to come back for episode 8. Trust me. I know where we're going, and it's gonna be something you need to watch. This episode is crazy for so many reasons. There's so many things going on. Invincible War being a big part of it. We finally got it. They even had that epic scene at the end of Invincible War with all of the different Invincibles and parts of the world that's like completely trashed. Like, the Earth is completely trashed right now, by the way, in case you didn't pick up on that in the episode. The Earth is completely trashed. It really is a rebuilding on a global scale that we are seeing right now. Something that I've really appreciated about Invincible in terms of its approach actually to the superhero narrative is the fact that it doesn't just limit itself to like one country or anything like that. Like, I think a lot of the times with American superhero comics, everything does tend to be, or a lot of it tends to be, I shouldn't say everything, that's such a generalization, but there does tend to be a big focus obviously on what's happening in the US, which makes sense because obviously a lot of these stories are coming out of the US and there are a lot of American creators that are involved in the stories. But something that I really love about Invincible and about Invincible War is that it's not just a threat for, you know, one area of the US or just the US itself. It's a global threat, and you really feel that presence with it. And look, we got to talk about a character that we lost because it was obviously heartbreaking, it was upsetting, and I mean downright disturbing, some might say. I think you all know who I'm talking about. Business Baby. Rest in peace, Business Baby. We barely knew ye. And of course, another character that we have to talk about is Rex. We knew we were gonna lose Rex because, you know, they were making him out to be such a sweetie this season, and he's really just been on this big trajectory when it comes to his character growth. So I knew it was happening. And of course, when we got into that fight, I knew how that ended. So I wasn't sure if we were gonna do that because we do have Ray here who's alive and who is a lady and who is obviously dating Rex. So because of that, it made me feel like I didn't fully know. But as soon as Rex said, "be right back," I was like, Yeah, he's not coming back. That's the end of that. I was crying before it even happened because I knew it was coming. And I gotta say, we are probably gonna get some comparisons with this episode of Invincible to X-Men 97 and, episode 5. At least I was thinking about some of those parallels. Who did it better? Rex's death or Gambit's death? What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Personally, I think the way that Rex goes out here is so epic, and it does leave us with that question of still what will happen with Ray, because Ray is still around. In the comics, that's all different. So I don't know how that's going to affect what comes next, but I'm excited for a path that I'm not really as familiar with. I am pretty familiar with the Invincible comics, even though I haven't sat down and read like every single issue of it. So it's fun when you get to throw a wrench kind of in the mix there to just keep us on our toes. And I mean, granted, even with the show, there are different ways that they approach certain scenarios that changes things up, which is why it's really fun to watch. Even if you're a person that's read Invincible, I would recommend watching the series because I do think that there is a lot that it adds to the story. It is one of those rare instances where I feel like what's better, the book or the show? And the answer is kind of, to me, just both. Both are really, really solid and have different things that I think they bring to the table while still telling the same story. But the real epic part with this episode is the end. I knew it was going to be coming too. I love how Mark is struggling to get out there and be a hero and even just leave Eve's side. There's that one moment where he says to Cecil, like, I'm not going to lead the Guardians. That's not what I'm doing. I don't want to work with you. I don't want any of this. But if something big happens, call me. And as soon as he said that, I was like, I know what's about to happen, and it's going to be pretty big. Of course, he doesn't need to be called because this is something that just shows up right on his doorstep while we're in the middle of cleanup. And also, man, every time Oliver's around, I'm so nervous with Oliver. But the thing that we're talking about here is, of course, Conquest. Conquest is, if you know the comics, Conquest is a lot of a lot. And I think we're about to enter one of the best episodes of Invincible to have ever happened at this point. And I think that will be the end of season 3, episode 8. I actually thought that today we were going to get a 2-episode finale, so I was like really excited to just jump into the Conquest Mark fight. But alas, no, I gotta wait a week. So I'll be back to talk about the full show. But I did also want to point out that our voice actor for Conquest, it's really funny who they decided to go with because it's Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan, for those that might not know, he plays the comedian in The Watchmen, but there's another character that he plays that's even more relevant to Invincible. If you know Walking Dead, he plays Negan, who is the guy that takes out Glenn. Glenn, of course, is played by Steven Yeun. So getting to see basically Jeffrey and Steven go head to head here, it's, yeah, I feel like for Walking Dead fans, this is going to be pretty cool to see. And he also just does such a great job, I think, with Conquest, at least so far. Obviously, we've only heard a little bit, but we're going to be hearing a lot more from him in the next episode. A lot is going to happen. Also, can I just say, although Conquest is here, I don't even think Conquest is the biggest villain in this show, because the biggest villain to me will always be frickin' Adam, man. Why is he the worst? I hate Adam so much. And the show does such a good job of capturing how much of a butt he is. And I will say, although I don't like either of Eve's parents usually, Adam or Betsy, this show is kind of bringing me around to like Betsy a little bit. I mean, she's not great at it, but at least she tries to talk to Mark and talk about how she can appreciate that her daughter has powers, and talk about how she can appreciate that there are other maybe heroes around Eve to help her. Of course, it all gets interrupted by freaking Adam in the doorway. Jesus, Adam, get him out of here. I just want to punch him every time I see him. If you don't know, I also did a playthrough of some of the Invincible Presents Adam Eve game, and for that, you have to deal with Eve's parents, and oh my freaking god, it was testing my patience. I could not be Eve because I couldn't deal with her parents. That's what I've learned. But yeah, so far this season is shaping up to be really good. I just wanted to come in and talk about the fact that we went to these places. It's so exciting to me, and I've been waiting such a long time for it, and I can't wait. All in all, it was a great episode, except for the fact that Mark and Eve decided to wear shoes on the bed, which is a bit strange, but you know, feet. can't show those feats. Not for free. That's it for this one, friends. Let me know your thoughts on the episode down in the comments below. Also, you know, I know this video wasn't as structured as some of my other ones are. I literally have no notes. I am just talking, blah, like just basically the excitement, the flames on the side of my face. The excitement is just getting to me, and I just really needed to come on and just share my love of this episode with you. So I hope that, you know, you don't mind that's a little less structured. Overall, if I'm gonna rate this isn't really a review, but let's pretend it is for a second. This is a 5 out of 5 for me, just FYI. I really freaking loved this episode, and I cannot wait for us to all watch episode 8 and to come back and talk to you about this entire season, which has been mint so far. That's all I have. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Are you watching Invincible? What are you thinking of it? Are you not watching Invincible? Why not? Let me know. I'll see you next time. And if you want more Invincible stuff, I did talk about some of season 3 over here. Until next time, stay nerdy. Bye.